Chosen one, you've been marked since birth. It's real. From the very moment your soul crossed the threshold into this world, something ancient, something holy, something powerful rested on you. Before anyone called you by your name, before you ever uttered your first word or took your first step, you were already carrying a light that the world couldn't quite understand. And that's because this light wasn't man-made. It was divine. It was appointed. It was spoken into existence by God Himself. There's a reason why your path has never looked like anyone else's. There's a reason why people tried to dim your shine before you even understood how bright you were. There's a reason why, even as a child, you felt different. Not better, just deeply aware. You noticed things others missed. You carried a weight that wasn't yours. You felt energies no one else could name. And now, years later, you're still standing, still feeling, still sensing the pulse of something bigger guiding your every move. Watch this video until the very end, and write your warmest wishes in the comments, and write Amen along with the number 99. Because this space is a portal, a sacred digital ground where energy flows and divine shifts are ignited by intention. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. You've been marked, not just called, not just blessed, marked. That means your identity has been stamped with an invisible seal from heaven. Even if you tried to fit in, you couldn't. Even if you wanted to be like them, you weren't allowed. Because when God marks you, He sets you apart. He protects what He selects. And this mark? It is proof. Proof that you were chosen for something significant. Proof that your battles weren't random. They were refining. Proof that the resistance you faced wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You've likely noticed by now that your life has never followed a predictable pattern. While others build linear success stories, your journey zigzags through delay, confusion, betrayal, and mystery. But in every setback, there was also a secret. In every heartbreak, there was a hidden instruction. God was marking you not just with favor, but with insight. He wasn't just blessing you. He was building a messenger, a leader, a vessel of power wrapped in humility. That mark over your life is why certain people couldn't handle your presence. They sensed something on you before you even knew it was there. You've walked into rooms and felt eyes follow you, not out of admiration, but out of spiritual discomfort. Because when you're marked, the enemy senses it. And sometimes, the people you thought were for you get activated by forces they don't even understand. This is why your friendships didn't last. This is why you were left out of the group. This is why you were betrayed by the very ones you loved the most. But hear this clearly. None of it was meant to break you. It was meant to reveal you. You weren't called to walk the common path. You were set on a divine route that would reveal the rarest parts of yourself through pain, pressure, and persistence. And now you're rising. You may not feel it fully yet, but the shift has already begun. That invisible mark on your life has activated a visible season. People will begin to notice something different. Opportunities will begin to find their way to you without you chasing them. Doors will open because the energy surrounding you cannot be denied anymore. It's time. Your mark is manifesting. There's no coincidence in your timing. You didn't stumble upon this message. You were summoned here, called into alignment by something ancient and intelligent. There are no accidents when it comes to the marked ones. Everything you've lived through has built you for this exact moment. You're not too late. You're not behind. You're right on time for your divine emergence. This is what they didn't want you to know. That your sensitivity is a strength. That your difference is your superpower. That your loneliness was your laboratory. God placed you in solitude so you could hear what the crowd could never tell you. He isolated you to insulate you with clarity. While others chased attention, you were being filled with wisdom. Now, as the light in you begins to glow brighter, Don't be surprised when things start shifting suddenly. The relationships that felt safe may fall away. The places that used to feel comfortable may become intolerable. That's the mark doing its work. The mark over your life is pulling you into higher frequency environments. Places where your soul can breathe again, expand again, soar again. You see, you're not meant to be normal. And thank God for that. Because normal can't change the world. Normal can't carry a movement. Normal can't activate destiny. You were made extraordinary, and now it's time to own it. Fully. This doesn't mean shouting about it. It means standing in it, walking in it, breathing in it, letting your very presence shift atmospheres without needing to say a word. God marked you for visibility, but not for vanity. He marked you for purpose, not performance. That's why he hid you for so long. Because he wasn't just preparing a moment for you. He was preparing you for the moment. The mark on your life is a divine beacon, and heaven is aligning circumstances around you to bring that purpose into full view. There is no shame in how long it took. There is no guilt in the mistakes you made while trying to understand your identity. Every misstep was woven into the masterpiece. Every detour led you deeper into awareness. And now that you've awakened to the truth, that you've been marked since the beginning, everything changes. You'll no longer question why things happen to you. You'll start asking what they're trying to activate within you. You'll begin seeing your challenges as tools, your pain as power, your silence as sacred. Because the mark doesn't just make you different, it makes you dangerous. To darkness, to limitation, to mediocrity. That's why the attacks have intensified. That's why your thoughts have been under pressure. That's why you've questioned your own reflection. Because the enemy saw what you were about to become before you did. But what he didn't count on was your resilience. What he didn't factor in was your rebirth. God has spoken over your life, and that word cannot return void. You will rise. You will shine. You will prosper. Not because you chased the world, but because heaven chose you. Not because you were the loudest, but because you were the most surrendered. Your humility became your portal. Your obedience became your weapon. This season is not a replay of your past. This is not another cycle. This is not a false start. This is your activation. You're not becoming who you used to be. You're becoming who you were before the world told you to shrink. You're stepping into a power that has been waiting for your agreement. Your mark is glowing now, brighter than ever, and the world can't unsee it. They saw it before you did. Before you could even speak your dreams into the air, there were whispers about you. Unspoken stares, lingering glances, and silent tensions followed you into every space. You couldn't name it then, but you felt it. A knowing that you weren't just another face in the crowd. Something about your energy stood out. Not because you tried, but because you were marked. And that mark? It made people feel exposed in your presence. Not because you judged them, but because your very existence radiated truth. You've been carrying that divine frequency since the womb. Long before you earned a title, before you built a resume, before you gained experience. That frequency didn't come from man. It was poured on you by God himself. You were infused with an ancient assignment, an encoded instruction tied to your very breath. You are not an accident. You are an announcement. Your life is the proof that something sacred still walks among us. And that's why the world never knew what to do with you. It wasn't that you were too much. It's that you were too real, too raw, too awake. You couldn't pretend to be okay with what was false. You couldn't lie to yourself to make others comfortable. That unease in your spirit? It wasn't rebellion. It was revelation. God was showing you what your eyes couldn't yet comprehend. He was sharpening your discernment. So when the moment came, you'd recognize exactly what was for you and what wasn't. And now, that moment is here. This is the unveiling season. The season where the marked ones rise without apology. You've been hidden long enough. You've been quiet for too long. You've played small out of respect for those who couldn't handle your bigness. But your destiny no longer fits inside that silence. God didn't mark you to blend in. He marked you to shift everything around you. The events in your life were not random. They were roadmap markers. That heartbreak wasn't just a tragedy, it was a transformation. That betrayal wasn't just a wound, it was a window into your true strength. Every closed door was a redirection, not rejection. Every delay was divine. Because God knew, the weight you carry isn't light, and your assignment couldn't afford a rushed version of you. It needed the refined you, the fire-tested you, the unshakable you. You were never meant to be understood by everyone. Some people walked away because they couldn't see the treasure God hid in you. Others tried to manipulate you because they did see it, but wanted to control it. But neither of those were your losses. They were divine protections. Because when you're marked, access to you becomes expensive, and rightly so. Your energy, your spirit, your presence, they are not common. You've been entrusted with a light that pierces through darkness. You carry a vibration that disrupts the status quo. People feel it when you walk into the room. It's not charisma, it's not charm, it's calling, and it carries authority. That's why some people misread you. That's why others try to imitate you. Because what you have can't be duplicated. It can only be discovered. And yours was discovered by heaven the day you were born. The warfare you faced wasn't random. It wasn't punishment. It was confirmation. You don't get attacked like that unless you're dangerous to the plans of darkness. You don't get isolated like that unless your voice has power to liberate others. You don't get overlooked like that unless your timing is being divinely preserved for something greater. Chosen one, hear this clearly. You've been marked since birth, and no power, no person, no principality can undo what God declared over you. What's on your life is non-negotiable. The shift has started, and your presence is needed now. Not a future version of you, not a more polished version. You, as you are, raw, real, radiant, rising. It's time to walk in rooms like you know you're carrying something divine. Not to prove it, not to announce it, but to be it. To show up as light and let that light do what it does. Expose, expand, elevate. You've spent enough time questioning if you're ready. Here's the truth. The mark made you ready. You were never going to feel fully prepared, because what you're called to do is bigger than your feelings. It requires faith, and you have it. You've had it all along. That silent strength that kept you standing when everything around you fell apart. That was God's whisper inside your soul. That was the proof that you're not here by chance. You're here by command. Now, your energy is starting to shift the very spaces you walk into. People are noticing without knowing why. Opportunities are appearing without explanation. That's not coincidence. It's confirmation. The mark is manifesting. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. What you need is alignment. And you're already stepping into it. Every moment you choose authenticity over acceptance. Every time you choose truth over trends. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you align deeper with who God marked you to be. You were marked to build something that's never existed before. A vision, a movement, a legacy. Not for ego, not for status, but for impact. Because your life is a message. A sacred script written in divine ink. And God is now turning the page to a new chapter. The silence you've endured is being broken by divine sound. The delays you've faced are turning into acceleration. The confusion is becoming clarity. The shadows are giving way to light. Because when a marked one accepts their calling, the entire universe responds. You were born for this. You were designed for this. Every cell in your being knows it. You can feel the shift, can't you? That inner trembling, that quiet fire, that's the call. And this time, you're ready to answer it. They watched you suffer, but they didn't know it was shaping you. They saw the tears, but they didn't see the transformation. They saw the silence, but they didn't hear the strength being forged within it. What looked like your breakdown was actually your becoming. While they were waiting for you to collapse, God was reconstructing every broken part into unshakable purpose. The mark on your life made sure you would never be buried in the pain, only planted in it. And now you're starting to bloom in ways no one saw coming. This is why the silence was necessary. You needed space to remember who you were, not who they told you to be. You needed distance from the noise, from the projections, from the expectations. You needed to hear God again, to feel the pulse of the calling beneath the pressure. Because the world tried to name you, shape you, and define you. But the mark was always louder. It kept whispering, "There's more." And you believed it, even when you had no proof. Your life has been a divine contradiction, marked by greatness, surrounded by struggle, called by heaven, opposed by earth, pulled by something bigger, yet slowed down by everything familiar. And yet, you kept going. You kept trusting. You kept showing up. Not because you had all the answers, but because something in you knew that giving up wasn't an option. That inner knowing was the mark working through you. It refused to let you die in what was meant to develop you. The mark on your life attracted battles you didn't choose, but it also preserved you in storms that should have drowned you. While others broke under pressure, you bent but didn't snap. While others walked away, you stood your ground. While others lost themselves in the noise, you found your voice in the silence. And that voice? It carries the sound of awakening now. It echoes with purpose. It vibrates with truth. It disrupts darkness. You're no longer asking why you were chosen. You're starting to understand what you were chosen for. And it's not just for success. It's not just for visibility. It's for impact. Real, lasting, God-ordained impact. You were marked to speak what others are afraid to say. To walk where others hesitate. To be the light in places where light has never dared to go. That's why your life couldn't be ordinary. Because your calling never was. Even in your darkest moments, something was protecting you. Even when you tried to go backward, invisible hands pulled you forward. Even when you doubted your worth, the heavens still recognized your value. That's what it means to be marked. You can't hide from it. You can't outgrow it. You can't cancel it. It follows you, surrounds you, speaks through you, whether you feel ready or not. And now, your steps are being ordered with divine precision. You'll start noticing synchronicities, doors opening before you knock, people showing up who seem sent, ideas flowing that feel too perfect to be coincidence. That's the divine rhythm taking over. That's your mark aligning with timing. No more forcing, no more striving, just flowing with what God already placed inside you. You've earned this clarity. You've walked through fire for it. And now, you're being trusted with more. Not just blessings, but responsibility. Not just favor, but legacy. This isn't about just living a good life. It's about building something eternal with your existence. It's about letting your life become a message that outlives you. Because when you're marked, your existence becomes evidence that God still moves through people. You're entering a season where the truth about you can no longer be hidden. The masks you wore to protect others' comfort are falling. The roles you played to survive are dissolving. What's left is the real you. Pure, potent, undeniable. The version of you that was always meant to shine. The version of you that doesn't seek validation because you are the validation. You are the confirmation that it's possible to survive the storm and still carry the light. Chosen one, your story is not ordinary because your soul is not ordinary. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to break through, and breakthrough is here. It's not just coming, it's arrived. It's in your decisions, in your awareness, in your posture. The more you own your truth, the more doors will open that were previously sealed shut. God didn't bring you this far to leave you wondering. This is the unveiling. This is the revealing. This is the chapter where your silence becomes strategy and your pain becomes prophecy. Every time you speak from your soul, the atmosphere shifts. Every time you choose alignment over applause, heaven moves on your behalf. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are in position. The mark on your life is not fading. It's intensifying. You're beginning to radiate in ways that no darkness can deny. You're beginning to walk in authority that cannot be earned, only inherited. And you inherited this from the moment God breathed purpose into your lungs. That was the first confirmation. Everything since has been a reminder. People will look at your life and wonder how you got here. They'll question your methods, your process, your rise. But what they don't understand is that the mark made you. It trained you in places no one else saw. It taught you things experience alone couldn't explain. You carry divine intelligence, celestial wisdom, the kind of knowing that doesn't come from books, but from survival, from surrender, from sacred battles in the midnight hour. The light in you is about to get louder, brighter, bolder, and you won't need to force it. It's simply what happens when a marked soul finally stops shrinking. This is the return to self, the rise of truth, the emergence of purpose, the manifestation of prophecy. They'll say you changed. Let them, because what they're really seeing is the unveiling of the original you, the one before the disappointments, before the heartbreaks, before the betrayals. What they're witnessing is not a shift in who you are, but a return. A return to the soul that was marked before the pain, before the doubts, before the fear. You didn't suddenly become powerful. You remembered that you always were. And once the memory of your divine origin returned, nothing could hold you back. God was never interested in your perfection. He was always after your alignment. That's why he allowed the delays, the detours, the long nights with no answers. It wasn't to destroy you. It was to deliver you out of everything that wasn't meant for the weight you carry. You can't afford to be tied to what can't hold your destiny. You can't afford to settle in rooms too small for the vision God poured into you. So yes, you've outgrown people. You've outgrown patterns. You've outgrown environments. That's the mark doing its work again. It's not pride. It's preservation. God is extracting you from systems that could never handle your magnitude. Because you weren't meant to be caged. You were meant to soar. Your presence was designed to create ripples in spaces that have gone stale. Your words were crafted to disrupt narratives that kept generations silent. Your frequency? It's revolutionary, and heaven knows it. That's why your life attracted jealousy before it attracted applause. People could sense you were carrying something rare, but rarity is often rejected before it's respected. You had to walk through seasons of misunderstanding. You had to endure being misjudged, misread, misused. But what they didn't know is that every misstep only made your mark clearer. The misunderstanding was refining your message. The rejection was redirecting your reach. And now, you're walking into rooms not to impress, but to impact. You're no longer seeking to be seen. You're seeking to be effective. You've realized that your power doesn't come from how loud you are, but how aligned you are. And in that alignment, everything begins to bend in your favor. Opportunities find you. Miracles chase you. Peace surrounds you. That's what it means to be marked. To have heaven's fingerprint guiding every move. Don't be surprised when the past tries to call you back. Don't be shocked when people reappear, acting like they always believed in you. That's what happens when the mark starts to manifest publicly. The same ones who dismissed you will now want to be connected to you. But this time, your discernment will speak louder than your desire to please. You're not the same. You're not desperate for validation. You've tasted the clarity that only God can give, and nothing artificial can compare. Your mission is sacred now, and sacred things must be protected. Your peace is not negotiable. Your purpose is not up for discussion. You owe no one an explanation for the way God is elevating you. They weren't there when you cried out in silence. They weren't there when you bled behind smiles. They weren't there when your spirit broke so deeply you questioned your own existence. But God was. And that's why you walk the way you do now, with grace, with strength, with silent fire. You're not chasing platforms. You're building dimensions. You're not playing roles. You're embodying truth. You've stopped asking for permission because you've realized the mark itself is the permission. It's the evidence that you're heaven-backed. And when you're backed by the divine, no man can block what's meant for you. Let them wonder how you made it. Let them question why now. Let them speculate all they want. You don't have to explain favor. You don't have to justify light. When God marks you, your presence speaks. Your life becomes the proof. The elevation becomes the answer. And it's happening quickly now. What took others years will find you in moments. Not because you're better, but because you're positioned. You've done the inner work. You've passed the invisible tests. You've stayed faithful even when nothing made sense. And heaven remembers. Heaven rewards. Heaven reveals in divine timing. The atmosphere around you is shifting. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Your frequency is higher. Your decisions are cleaner. Your focus is locked in. You're not tolerating distractions that once trapped you. You're not entertaining energies that drain you. You're moving different now because the mark demands it. You're not alone in this. There are others like you, marked ones scattered across the world, rising at the same time, feeling the same shift. Together, you form an unseen army of light, awakening, and alignment. And though your path may feel lonely, your purpose is deeply connected. You are not an island. You are a wave in a divine movement, and that movement is gaining momentum. Everything in your life is being reordered right now. The things that used to break you will now bounce off you. The wounds that once defined you are turning into wisdom. You're moving from survival to stewardship, from heartbreak to healing, from resistance to radiance. And all of it is happening because of that one truth you can no longer ignore. You've been marked since birth, and it's real. They won't understand how you're still standing, and they don't have to. Because survival was never your goal. Survival was the beginning. What you carry was never about simply making it through. It was about thriving, expanding, radiating something eternal. You were never supposed to just get by. That's why your soul always rejected mediocrity. That's why every time you tried to settle, your spirit screamed. You weren't marked to maintain. You were marked to multiply. God didn't whisper your name into existence just so you could exist quietly. He placed an anointing on your life that echoes louder than any doubt, louder than any setback, louder than any enemy. And now, the echoes are turning into movements. The winds are shifting in your favor. There's a divine propulsion behind everything you do, because heaven is in agreement with your becoming. This is why your old self had to dissolve. This is why you had to walk through that painful shedding. The people who knew you before the shedding will try to reference the version of you that no longer exists. But it won't stick, because the you that's rising now can't be explained by history, only by destiny. You are living proof that God restores, that He rebuilds, that He repurposes everything the enemy tried to destroy. You are not carrying scars. You're carrying codes, divine codes that unlock blessings, connections, and miracles. The things you endured, they encrypted your energy with strength. The silence you honored, it deepened your vision. The losses you grieved, they recalibrated your capacity. Nothing you went through was wasted. Everything was sacred. Everything was strategic. The mark on your life is not just a symbol of selection, it's a beacon. It calls forth provision, protection, power. It summons divine timing. It aligns miracles like clockwork. You'll begin noticing how things just happen for you. But they're not accidents. They are assignments reaching their destination. The abundance is real. The ease is intentional. You're entering the season of divine flow. But don't confuse ease with passivity. You still move with purpose. You still carry discipline. The difference now is that your effort is partnered with God's wind. You're no longer pushing alone. You're not creating from depletion. You're creating from overflow. And that overflow is not just financial. It's spiritual, emotional, mental. It touches every part of your being. People who thought they figured you out are about to be stunned. You're not walking back into the world the same way. You're walking in with alignment, with clarity, with an aura that cannot be duplicated. They'll try to box you, but you'll flow through every limitation. They'll try to label you, but you'll redefine every expectation. Because when you've been marked by God, you don't move by man's rules. The funny thing is, the very people who tried to silence you are about to be impacted by your voice. Not because you seek revenge, but because your life is now too radiant to ignore. That's how God works. He prepares a table in front of the ones who doubted you. Not to shame them, but to reveal what His hand has done. Because this blessing isn't just for you. It's a message. Every breakthrough you experience, every level you ascend, every overflow you receive, it's all sending a message to the world that when God marks a person, nothing can stop what follows. Not time, not delay, not betrayal, not even the person themselves. Because God's word doesn't expire. His hand doesn't miss. His promise never returns void. You're about to walk into manifestations that make no sense, and they don't need to. You'll see bank accounts shift, relationships realign, territories open. You'll witness healing that science can't explain. You'll witness connections that only heaven could orchestrate. And you'll do it all while remaining grounded, humble, and anchored. Because the mark keeps you rooted. It keeps you aware of where it all came from, and who it all came through. Don't be surprised when you're drawn to different environments. Don't be shocked when your spirit starts pulling you away from what you once called home. That's the mark again, nudging you into higher frequencies. Elevation requires separation, not because you're better, but because your energy has shifted. You require more clarity now, more purity, more truth. This season is not for blending, it's for blazing. You're not here to echo others. You're here to release something original, something God-breathed, something that shifts people from darkness into light. You were chosen not just to talk about the light, but to be the light. And that's what's happening now. Your energy is becoming magnetic. Your presence is becoming transformational. Your silence even is starting to speak. This is what they never taught you. That being marked means living in the tension between being misunderstood and being unstoppable, between being isolated and being ignited, between feeling unqualified and knowing you were always enough. But you've embraced the tension, you've endured the pressure, and now the release is coming. Not just any release, a supernatural one, an unexplainable outpouring of favor, clarity, and divine orchestration. Everything is coming full circle. The storylines are connecting. The visions are unfolding. The legacy is being written through you. Don't shrink now. Don't second-guess this moment. You've walked through fire, not to become hard, but to become clear. Clear about who you are. Clear about what you carry. Clear about where you're going. The fog has lifted. The path is revealed. And you, chosen one, are no longer walking blindly. You are walking marked. Fully aware, fully awake, fully ready. This is your return. But not to where you started, to who you've always been. The illusions have faded. The masks have cracked. The layers you wore to protect yourself have dissolved in the presence of truth. And now, standing in your purest form, you see it. This was always the plan. God never abandoned you. He was developing you. In the places where you thought He was silent, He was speaking the loudest. In the moments where you felt forgotten, you were actually being remembered in heaven's courts. You were hidden, not because you were unworthy, but because you were holy. You were concealed so that no hand but God's could shape you. You were shielded so that no opinion could deform what was already divinely formed. Every tear watered your becoming. Every ache cracked open a deeper layer of truth. And now, nothing can cover what God has unveiled. You were never just meant to exist in this world. You were meant to rewrite the energy of it. And you're doing just that. Not by force, not by fame, but by frequency. Your frequency has shifted. It doesn't beg. It doesn't chase. It draws. Because alignment is magnetic. And that mark you carry? It is heaven's signature. The seal that says, "This one is mine." You've been authorized to move differently now. To operate from your knowing, not your needing. You're no longer trying to prove your worth. You've embodied it. You're no longer apologizing for your light. You've accepted it. You've stopped asking if you're too much and started realizing you were always meant to be more. This level isn't just about blessings. It's about building. It's about impact. It's about establishment. God is establishing you in territories that were once foreign. He's giving you access to places your feet have never walked, but your soul always knew. You're stepping into environments where you no longer shrink to fit. You expand to fill. And as you rise, you lift others simply by existing in your truth.